Namaskar. A warm welcome to World News, an Indian perspective on All India Radio. This is Renuka bringing glimpses of major developments of the day from across the globe. The headlines. Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi calls upon citizens to celebrate Diwali with local products. Global coronavirus infection exceeds 15 million. US President-elect Joe Biden to convene coronavirus task force on Monday. UN launches response plan for life-saving assistance to people affected by Typhoon Goni in Philippines. Virgin Hyperloop tests human travel on super high-speed levitating pod system. And international table tennis returns after 8-month gap due to COVID-19. Prime Minister of India Narendra Modi today called upon the citizens of the country to celebrate Diwali this year with local products. He gave the slogan Local for Diwali this year and said that it is our commitment and responsibility to celebrate Diwali with all locally produced items. Diwali, the most beautiful of all Indian festivals, is a festival of light symbolizing the victory of righteousness and the lifting of spiritual darkness celebrated in the month of November. While launching development projects worth 6.14 billion in his parliamentary constituency, Varanasi, the Prime Minister appealed to the public to promote and purchase local products for Diwali. He said that it will further ignite the whole local economy. He added that when everyone praises local products and their quality, then it will not only have an impact on others, but the people involved in production will also benefit by it.
आजकल आप देख रहे हैं लोकल के लिए वोकल, वोकल फॉर लोकल, इसके साथ ही लोकल फॉर दिवाली, इसके मंत्र को, इसकी गूंज चारों तरफ अब सुनाई देने लगी है। मेरा बनारस के लोगों से भी और देशवासियों से भी मेरा कहना है लोकल फॉर दिवाली को खूब प्रमोट करें, खूब प्रचार करें। हर एक व्यक्ति जब गर्व के साथ लोकल सामान खरीदेगा, लोकल की चर्चा करेगा, लोकल प्रोडक्ट का गौरव करेगा, नए नए लोगों तक ये बात पहुंचाएगा कि हमारे लोकल प्रोडक्ट कितने अच्छे हैं, कितने शानदार हैं, किस तरह हमारी पहचान है, तो ये बातें दूर दूर तक जाएगी।
US President-elect Joe Biden's campaign has urged the head of the US General Services Administration to approve an official transition of power. In one of his first tasks, Joe Biden has convened a coronavirus task force on Monday to examine the number one problem confronting him when he takes the office in January. He has announced a 12-member coronavirus task force to mount an effective response to the pandemic that has infected millions and damaged the US economy. In his victory speech in Wilmington, Delaware, Mr. Biden said he will spare no effort to turn around this pandemic. Biden's healthcare advisors have held talks with drug maker executives on the U.S. government's Operation Warp Speed program to accelerate work on COVID-19 treatment. India has welcomed the removal of Sudan from the list of state sponsors of terrorism and Sudan's normalization of relations with Israel. External Affairs Ministry said in a statement that India's relations with Sudan are historic and special and forged on the basis of shared values and close people-to-people contacts. India congratulated the transitional government and the people of Sudan on the signing of the Juba Peace Agreement. New Delhi expressed hope that these positive developments will usher in democratic changes and contribute to enhancing Sudan's development, peace, security and stability. The United Nations and humanitarian partners in the Philippines on Monday launched a response plan for $45.5 million for hundreds of thousands of people affected by Typhoon Goni. UN humanitarian coordinator in the Philippines, Gustavo Gonzalez, launched the plan. He said that with support from donors, the humanitarian community is ready to support through a coordinated response of emergency relief and early recovery. This is All India Radio, giving you the world news. Now let's take a look at the coronavirus updates from around the world. According to WHO data, global coronavirus infections exceeded 50 million on Sunday, a second wave of the virus in the past 30 days accounting for a quarter of the total infections. Europe, with about 12 million cases, is the worst affected region, overtaking Latin America. Europe accounts for 24% of COVID-19 deaths. The global second wave is testing healthcare systems across Europe, prompting Germany, France and Britain to order many citizens back to their homes again. The United States became the first nation worldwide since the pandemic began to surpass 10 million coronavirus infections. In India, the COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 92.56%. The number of active COVID-19 cases remained below 6 lakh for the 11th consecutive day. The drug makers Pfizer and BioNTech have said that their COVID-19 vaccine is more than 90% effective in preventing COVID-19 based on initial data from a large-scale clinical trial of a vaccine. The companies said they have so far found no serious safety concerns and expect to seek U.S. emergency use authorization later this month. Virgin Hyperloop said on Sunday that it has completed the world's first passenger ride on a super high-speed levitating pod system. The company claimed that the key safety test will transform human and cargo transportation with zero carbon emissions. It has previously run over 400 tests without human passengers. Los Angeles-based Hyperloop envisions a future where floating pods packed with passengers and cargo hurtle through vacuum tubes at 966 kilometers per hour or faster. The Hyperloop system uses magnetic levitation to allow near-silent travel that would be twice as fast as commercial jet flight and 4 times faster than a high-speed train. The first flight carrying Israeli tourists to the UAE landed in Dubai on Sunday. The event marks the latest sign of the normalization deal reached between the two nations. The flight flew across Saudi Arabia and then over the waters of the Persian Gulf to reach the UAE. Fly Dubai plans to begin its flight to Tel Aviv later this month. The airline described Sunday's flight as a commercial charter flight for the incoming tourists. The police in the Georgian capital, Tbilisi, have fired water cannons at crowds protesting against the results of last week's parliamentarian election. Thousands of protesters gathered outside the Central Election Commission to demand a new vote after accusing the ruling party of rigging the poll. They rejected the election's result and called for the resignation of both the police chief and the election commission. The ruling Georgian Dream Party, which has secured over 48% of votes in the 31 October election, has denied the accusations of fraud. Georgian Dream Party has been in power since 2012. Moving on to sports, the international table tennis has returned on China after an enforced 8-month break because of the coronavirus. The Women's World Cup began on Sunday behind closed doors in the eastern coastal city of Weihai, with 21 players from across the globe taking part over 3 days. In soccer, Switzerland's third largest private bank, Julius Baer, said on Monday that it has made an agreement with the U.S. Department of Justice to settle allegations over its role in corruption surrounding global soccer body FIFA. Nepal President Bidya Devi Bhandari on Monday released a special anthology on Mahatma Gandhi, My Understanding About Gandhi, during a ceremony at Kathmandu in the presence of Indian Ambassador Vinay Mohan Kwatra. The book has been brought out by the Embassy of India along with the BP Koirala India Nepal Foundation to cherish the values of the Mahatma's universal teaching with Nepali friends. The Indian Embassy in a statement said that the publication hopes to bring the youth of Nepal closer to Mahatma Gandhi, whose life and ideal remains timeless, universal and relevant for today's world. India is celebrating the 151st birthday anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Before we end, let us listen to his favorite bhajan, Vaishnava Jan, by artists from Armenia. We end this bulletin. See you at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.